Howdy, y'all. This is Jichael Fartis, and this is my very first YouTube channel. So, I used to be a conservative, commentator, and I used to talk about things like pre-crime and, some other stuff. Anywho, I decided I'd get this gaming YouTube thing a try, and talk about the worst games I own and why they suck. So, here we go. I'm just warning you now because these games are absolutely horrible. First off is the Mass Effect games. And I'll tell you why they're horrible. Just look at this. I saw a commercial and it was a woman on the cover, so why is there a man here? That's just false advertising. This should be illegal. Yeah, this is... Oh man, and all the talking you have to do. I mean, if I wanted to talk, I'd call somebody on the phone. Why would I want to talk to people? You know? And not to mention sex with aliens is just weird. Just saying. So yeah, Mass Effect, way down. Horrible franchise. Next up, and I'm not going to show you all my games because there's no time. I got so many stinkers here. But, here is another really hard... This is an awful piece of garbage right here. BioShock, more like a rip-off of System Shock and Infinite, except in the sky, you in the water. I know that because Infinite, is the first game because it took place in 1912 and this is 1960, whatever. So yeah, and not to mention, it's not very realistic. I mean, how many people would leave tape players all over the place? Like, you don't see me going around downtown and going, okay, I might just leave a cassette player here, and I'll go over to the bike and leave a cassette player there. I mean, that just took me out of it. So, BioShock, definitely one to avoid. Horrible, horrible. I guess this is the game. Yeah. Here's a real stinker! Skyrim. Yeah, you know there's something perverted going on when you've got the name, when you got Rim in the name. I don't know what it is, but anyways, this game is just nothing but walking around the woods. If I want to do that, I just go outside. So, definitely not very good. The world's pretty small. It's not a lot to do. Oh, next up is Grand Theft Auto V! That's right, V! We're using, for some reason they don't like to use, numbers, so they just use letters. It doesn't make no sense. I mean, why would you put a V instead of a number? I mean, this isn't even the 5th installment, because there's, like, a bunch of other ones, like San Andreas and Vice City. Anyways, this is a very, very, I don't know, it's just not very fun. There's not a lot to do. It's a very small world. All you do is, it's just walking around the city. I mean, and what's so fun about like getting chased by the cops? That is never fun. Kids don't do drugs. Oh, and by the way, don't get caught by the cops. This is a crime simulator and all that. It should be banned. I only own it for like research purposes, so I can warn you guys. All right. Oh man, this is getting worse. Look at this. Ugh! Horrible! Why? Fallout 3. Look, you just do yourself a favor. If you want to experience a nuclear fallout, just stick your head in the microwave while it's on. You'll have much more fun than playing this really difficult game. I mean, the combat is awful. The shooting mechanics, I mean, it's not very like refurbed or refined or whatever. It's not very polished, if you ask me. It's, yeah. Fallout 3. Yeah. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, here's a real stinker. This is basically a cartoon. How is this dramatic in any way? It's just a cartoon. Yeah, the graphics are just cartoony. I mean, you can see that right here. If I can, I mean, how is this intense in any way? Yeah, you go just look at this and tell it's bad. Oh, right. Next up is Red Dead Redemption, which is basically a rip-off of Red Dead Revolver. You think I can't tell the difference? You think I don't know? Well, you didn't fool me. You just ripped. You thought just the change in the name was going to get it past us. Well, we ain't dumb enough to fall for that. Ugh. Here's one. This game's got Half-Life 2 on it. Why is that bad? Well, they released this incomplete. So, why would you release an incomplete game? I think developers are just, like, getting lazy and, like, putting crap out really fast. They don't even put out finished games no more. Because there's no ending to Half-Life 2. I played it, and it's just... It's like, they didn't finish it. Yeah, so don't play it. Here's another example of, like, bad licensed games. This is basically an Assassin's Creed ripoff of Batman paint coated on it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Avoid this at all costs. It's a terrible game. I know. I have my taste in games are accurate. I know a bad game when I see it, and this is it. This is definitely one of them. How is this thing even a game? I mean, you got one enemy, and you can't even die! So, really? You're right, and there's this other game when you were a flower petal, and you can't die in that either. I hear you're getting electric shocks, but why would you want to be a flower? That's just not fun. I mean, how many guys out there want to be flowers? Yeah. Avoid this, too. There's no game in here at all. And what we're here is just an Indiana Jones ripoff. You can't fool us, Naughty Dog. You ripped off Indiana Jones, okay? I ain't impressed. This is just another zombie game. You know there's a bunch of zombie games out there. It's just basically generic by the number zombie killing. You can't, it's just, there's nothing interesting to it at all. It's just another zombie game. That's all I gotta say. The problem with this, the bosses are way too big. I'm sorry, but how am I supposed to kill something if it's covering my screen? I just don't understand that. This is basically Tetris with guns. I don't see how that could work. It's a first-person, like, Tetris wannabe with a gun. Doesn't make no sense. And the robots ain't funny. There's nothing funny about the dialogue here. You won't laugh, trust me. Now we're gonna get to the next gen. And right here is an ugly looking game. This game just looks horrible. The graphics are just atrocious and just bad. Not to mention it's just basically a remake of Tomb Raider. I mean, Tomb Raider's been made already, so why would you make it again? I'm just saying. We already played this back in the 90s. And, you know, trying to make the graphics look all pretty isn't impressive. And not to mention the graphics ain't good anyway. Another incomplete game because there's no single player. Okay. So I do want to show. I do want to show you my new next gen stuff. Got a PS3 and a PS4, and I also got the Xbox One, which was last gen, and 360, which is this gen. I say that because the number 360 comes after 1, so that means 360 is the next gen system, and the Xbox One's last gen. Kind of like how 2 plus 2 is 22. You put 2 and 2 together, you get 22. You see how that works, right? Okay, I'm going to show it to you because I don't want to, like, move stuff around too much. But I wanted to show you one more thing before I go, and this is the most original game I own. You will never play another game like this in your life. I mean, this is the most unique game on the planet. So, do yourself a favor. If you want original gameplay, you want a unique experience you can't get in any other game ever, play this! Alright guys, that's all. That was my April Fools. So April Fools everybody. I hope you guys were amused. That's all I got to say for now, and yeah. Yeah, April Fools, everybody. Take care.